All right, welcome to Fast Break Breakfast NBA Podcast. My name is Keith Parrish. I'm going to get right into it with my good buddy Dave DuFour in just a second, but before I do, just want to make sure you know about the Grizzlies Watch Party / Fast Break Breakfast Listener Meetup, which is tonight, Friday, January 20th at Noble's Beer Hall in Nashville at 9 p.m. I'm going to be there with John and Chuck. We're going to watch the Grizzlies-Lakers, going to give away some Grizzlies prizes, so please come out and be there. Also, if you're in the Memphis area, they're having their own Grizzlies-Lakers watch party there, so get involved with that. Also, if you're in the Memphis area, don't miss comedy legends Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. They're coming to the FedEx Forum January 23rd. Very, very soon, just a few days away, and Memphis is one of only 5 dates added to their widely successful co-headlining U.S. tour. So this is a must-see show. You don't want to miss out. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the FedEx Forum box office. All right, now, let's talk ball with Dave DuFour. Joined right now by Dave DuFour. Dave, what is up, buddy?
You know, not much. It's sunny. That's about it.
What does a Dave DuFour Friday look like? Just
man.
Walks on the beach, 5 a.m. volleyball.
Well, I mean, I'm not in a Top Gun movie. So Friday is my Saturday. Thursday is my Friday.
Yeah, I got you.
The way that my schedule's built,
Do
right?
The whole week just so I get there. No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, Sunday is my Monday.
So Sunday.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So it's an off day in the gym. Not an off day from like physical activity. I walk a lot.
You gotta rest.
Gotta have those rest days.
Sure.
So Fridays for me, you know what, man? I like to take the dog to get a hot dog on Fridays. There's a place downtown in Long Beach. They've got good sausages, burgers, hot dogs, and so I take old Pippin for a walk downtown and get him a hot dog. It's a good time. And then, I do my normal local guy thing. I say hi to people in the street. I hit the farmer's market downtown that I really enjoy. Really good sourdough.
So
walk on the beach.
So Pippin named after the Stephen Schwartz musical? Or?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, it's funny. It's a Two Americas thing. Because all my neighbors call him Scotty.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's it's definitely Two Americas.
Is the
White
Friday
people
hot
say Pippin like IN, so
with the Friday hot dog walk, is that breakfast, Dave? I mean, is that I know you're an intermittent faster in the mornings, but what's the first thing you had to eat on a Friday?
Well, I actually haven't eaten yet. It's
11:30. Yeah.
It's
still
11:30
your time.
So it's funny. I got this new protein and I sent you a picture of it, Keith.
You did send me the picture of this protein.
It's called Cereal Whey. Okay. And my guy, I've got a buddy who's a bodybuilder and works in a supplement place. And my background, man, I used to be in health and fitness and supplements in particular. And so, we're just kind of shooting the breeze. And he was like, hey, these people are one of my sponsors. And he was like, do you like cereal? I was like, no, but my buddy loves cereal and probably should eat more protein. And I was like, it can't actually be that good. Keith.
Is it delicious?
It tastes like the milk from Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
You sent me this picture of this protein powder that is packaged as if it is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And it's just, it's like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored
mix it with water
supplement.
It is incredible. And it has like 1 carb, 1 gram of sugar.
That's amazing.
Which means they've just been putting sugar in stuff.
Yeah.
For no good reason.
Of course.
It's an addiction.
Yeah. It's how it keeps the wheel of America spinning. I think
that's it.
Just,
so
sugar.
To answer your question, I'm going to have 2 scoops of that and a banana here.
Incredible.
Shortly. That's a great lunch.
On your rest day.
On my rest day. Yeah. Well, and then I'm going to eat like crazy for the rest of the weekend.
That's amazing. In the NBA right now, as I awkwardly transition, I think the thing that have me most interested is just this pack of Western Conference teams. And some of them are teams we thought would be really, really good. Some of them are teams I thought that would be really, really bad. I think maybe most interesting to me right now is the Oklahoma City Thunder have caught the Clippers. They are right now flirting with the idea of actually swapping their pick with the Clippers, which they get to do if they finish with a better pick than the Clippers. I'm blown away that the Thunder, one, they keep winning, but not that anymore. It's no longer become surprising. It's now become expected. When you look on the schedule, you're like, oh, the Thunder are better than that team. And they go out and whip that team. What's going on with the Thunder, man? Like, is this all part of the plan?
I don't know if it's part of the plan. I think it's a couple of things, right? It's a confluence of events. They're pretty good. They've got some good players. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is really good. Josh Giddey has taken not a leap, but we'll call it a little, it's a hop.
Something.
He's pretty good. They're getting good play, but also everyone else.
Everyone's terrible.
Sucks.
Everyone's terrible.
Sucks. The Oklahoma City Thunder don't want to be here, is my assumption, because they're
just competitive. They're merely a competitive
good
team with solid guys, and unfortunately, you just win.
I'm gonna say they're good.
That's all you have. Yeah, okay.
Right. I'm gonna say they're good. They're a good basketball team. They know how to play basketball. They're extremely well coached. Mark Daigneault is really coaching them up. They are good. The thing is that the better teams aren't better.
Yeah.
Better teams are mediocre. Better teams are injured. Better teams just, whatever the Warriors are doing.
I was looking at the players with the best net rating, like just individual, my team's net rating when I'm on the court. This is obviously for Jaren Jackson Jr. propaganda. He is the best one in the NBA, but like not far down. It's like Isaiah Joe and Mike Muscala are the two guys like in the top 10 of the NBA in net rating. Yeah. It's a weird thing where, having talent, being well coached, being cohesive, and actually having maybe not garbage players, like just everyone's okay. Suddenly
everybody's a basketball player.
Suddenly
you're
stringing together victories, and you now have this thing on Friday night where there's a huge playoff showdown between the Thunder and the 3-seed Kings. And I feel like I thought the Kings were going to be pretty solid, like pretty good. But I also think they might be are they the worst 3-seed ever in January in the Western Conference?
Maybe.
They're pretty good, but like, is everyone everyone's that poor?
I think they're like a 6 or 7 seed, right? Like I expected them to be in the play-in, the Kings. I thought the Thunder would be just outside the play-in. I didn't think that they were going to be as bad as Houston. I thought maybe
Thunder would be terrible. I'm sorry. I was
clearly
purpose, wrong,
right?
Flatly wrong.
But that's on purpose, right? Like we thought it was going to be done on purpose. It isn't that they have bad players necessarily. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is really good.
He's great.
Lou Dort is pretty good.
I didn't believe that much in Dort. I thought Baisley and Poku would be getting minutes. They haven't been getting minutes, by the way. But no, I don't know. I doubted everything about it. Like, even if they wanted to put it together, I didn't think they could be this good.
Before the season, John Hollinger makes his predictions every year, and they asked a bunch of people to chime in. They asked me to chime in on the Thunder, as someone reminded me on Twitter the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, 24 wins sounds about right."
Right.
Yeah,
that's about what I was at. And now,
well, we're idiots, Keith, is what it is.
Sure, that's fine.
I mean, you don't hit 100%.
One of those things where I know a Thunder fan was pointing out to me, like they got rid of a bunch of guys who weren't NBA players.
Yeah.
Like last year, they played a lot of minutes for guys who weren't NBA players. And my pushback to that then was I feel like the people they replaced him with are not proven NBA players, but it turns out that they've been pretty solid.
Well, Isaiah Joe is a good player. It was a numbers game for him in Philadelphia. Yeah. And I was actually surprised that he went to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
But good for them.
Yeah. He's been doing a good job. So like the Thunder are right there with the Warriors, and they're ahead of the Suns. The Warriors, they played the Celtics in a great finals rematch game. They took it very seriously. They played like playoff rotation stuff.
Did Steve Kerr?
I felt like Steve Kerr did. I mean, he was like doing
Kevon Looney played 20 minutes in that game, was +3. Kevon Looney is a big reason why I do. He's a good basketball player.
That's why they beat the Grizzlies.
Defense. Yeah. It's why they beat the freaking Celtics in the finals.
Yeah.
And they started Jordan Poole, which, okay, see what happens. See if you light a fire. Why are you not closing the game with Kevon Looney?
I think it was part of a settlement reached after the Draymond punch. You have to let me start and finish X number of games.
Oh man.
No, I don't. Like, so so the Warriors lose this close game. They basically blow it. Like they were winning. They should have won. Then the Celtics were winning, and Celtics did some clown car shenanigans of throwing hilarious passes. Like, what are they doing? Are they trying to throw this game away? But now the Warriors on the second night of back-to-back aren't even participating on Friday night. They're resting their entire squad.
Right.
So they
lost 2 games. They lost 2 games because they played Jordan Poole too much. Look, Jordan, who was responsible for Jaylen Brown being wide open on the game-tying 3?
Oh,
that was Jordan Poole's man. That was his assignment. And I mean, you can point out play after play after play after play. And of course, there's a lot of instances of Steph Curry and Draymond not quite valuing the basketball enough down the stretch. But Jordan Poole the guy is just he's costing them games here. I'm not saying he's a bad player necessarily. He's not as good as Kevon Looney.
That I can get behind that. In the Grizzlies Warriors series last year, it definitely was. Please, I wish you would play Jordan Poole,
right?
And stop playing Kevon Looney and Andrew Wiggins, who are getting every offensive rebound. So, if the Warriors lose to the Cavs on Friday night, the Warriors will be 2 games under 500. Where the Phoenix Suns are also 2 games under 500. They've gotten passed by, like we said, the Thunder, the Timberwolves, who got they're up and down, but they got a big win on Thursday. My guy Kyle Anderson went for 20 and 10. Hey, now
they look better without Cat and Gobert.
Everyone knows it. Oh, Cat also revealed on some like Instagram stream that his calf injury was way more serious than they told anybody. He's like, it was a grade 3 strain, and so there was like a 4 to 6 week report that initially came out, which is nowhere close to being true. So that, I guess that's like breaking news on Friday, sort of. But
did that just happen?
No, it happened earlier this morning. Maybe when you were on a hot dog walk, I'm not sure. But I saw it today at least. But the Raptors were involved in this game against the Timberwolves on Thursday, and the Raptors actually blew. The Raptors are by 18. The Raptors are in a bit of a tailspin. Fred VanVleet had another great game. Like, he's heated up recently, but then they dropped this game to the Timberwolves, and the Raptors, it sounds like Masai has his eye on the prize, and it's not making the playoffs this year. It sounds like the fire sale is on. Is that an accurate reading of the situation?
It should be. I'm not sure if it's on or not, but it ought to be. I mean, I hope that they've been juicing VanVleet's stats on purpose, trying to make him look more appealing.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, try to get him going. Oh, hey guys, remember he can actually play basketball. I mean, he can go help a team somewhere. I just hope he winds up on a team that's gonna,
I mean, what is the VanVleet destination spot? Because I got a hard time coming up with. Like, where's he gonna go?
I think we either undervalue Raptors players, or they are so far overvalued by the Raptors fan base and like sort of media around the Raptors that it has skewed my perception of what the actual value is.
I think
like OG Anunoby to me is the most of the guys that I think are available, unless Pascal's available. OG Anunoby to me is the sort of guy that you want on a team that you're trying to build around, right? Like, I can't understand why you let that guy go. He's not going to make a max, I don't think. But he's
signed for another year. He's on a good deal right now.
Provides a lot of utility, and hopefully you can just be better next year. Like, Scotty Barnes is coming around a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Obviously not going to be as bad as he was for the first half of the year. And I'm not saying you should make a playoff push, but you can still bottom out and not bottom out. You don't have to ship your players off. There are ways around that. But I think VanVleet, if he moves, I think they're probably going to want a first, but he's an expiring. Right?
He's an expiring. And that makes it so strange for all these trades. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, who's pony? And they wouldn't do it for just a first.
And do you want to sign a small guard long term? I don't.
His shooting's way down despite the hot little stretch he's on right now.
I'm biased against guys that don't create. Like, if you're 5'11", 6 foot, and can't create an advantage off the dribble.
Yeah.
I'm not committing to that long term because if you slow down, it's a wrap.
the easy joke with the Raptors when you're like, oh, Van Vliet, you want 2 firsts and OG's 3 or 4 and Siakam's like 4 or 5. So like, you guys are awesome, right? You guys, that sounds like a really awesome roster.
Man, gosh, you're breaking up a championship contender. Well, the Gobert trade has thrown everyone's brain into a blender. And
not even considering the Gobert trade, which it's a fair point.
But like, that's the problem.
If you even look at like DeJounte Murray trade, and it's like, it seems fair. That seems like a fair trade to me. And, if I'm obviously hyper-focused on my team, the Grizzlies, and some little rumors, a little smoke that they're actually legitimately interested in OG Anunoby. And I'm saying, oh, well, he makes Danny Green plus Zaire Williams money. And that's not even cutting off any of your starters or anything. That's intriguing. And then I say, all right, so Zaire plus 2 firsts, which we hope are not going to be in the lottery. That seems fair, but is that enough for Raptors people to be happy? I don't know. And then
that seems like a lot.
It does. So on the one sense, it also can seem like a lot, although I think Raptors people would point out these Grizzlies picks are probably not going to be any good. And, hopefully that's the case. There's always the risk that they could. I've now started going the other side, trying to find out what's wrong with Anunoby. Where I'm like, oh, he turns the ball over a lot. He doesn't create for anybody, that type of thing. But
shooting's inconsistent.
Yeah. But I'm still real enamored with the guy.
He's amazing. The guy is, as a defender, imagine him in that Dylan Brooks role.
Imagine him with Dylan Brooks, Dave.
Even better.
Dylan coming off a game-winning block on Darius Garland.
Was he 1 for 12?
He was 4 for 12. Dylan is 7 for 10 in clutch situations this year.
There you go. I just, OG's a really good player who would help any team he went to. Van Vliet, look, man, I've been lower on Van Vliet, this whole run. So I'm a bad judge of what he would get, but like, it can't be more than a lottery protected first.
I don't know.
Maybe even top 20 protected, like if it's a good team, just like, hey, we're going to bring him in for the, for a playoff push. But
couldn't the Mavericks make something? There's been all these back and forth reports.
They could,
like the Mavericks have salary. They're one of the teams that has just like, we don't need this. We have a Bertans deal. We don't need it. They might actually need Dwight Powell now, but like they have other big salaries that they can match. Like anytime like Reggie Bullock, who legit has that stat, like if he scores more than 5, the Mavericks are good. And it's like 5. You just need 5 from this guy playing 35 minutes a game.
And he shoots wide open shots.
Yeah, and he just gets wide open shots. Like it seems like maybe they could do something. And now Luka is getting involved with personnel decisions. Apparently,
brought his
there's
dad
a little bit
in.
More pressure to bring his dad in,
like the Pantangeli brothers.
Yeah, I could see them maybe doing something, and then of course letting Van Vliet walk. They decide it's not worth it to pay him a market rate. It feels like a very Mavericks position.
If Siakam was available for them, that's a guy that they.
Siakam is a game changer,
but that doesn't make any sense to me.
Siakam's awesome. Siakam is like, I don't know if the Mavericks have enough. Where if I'm the Raptors, I wouldn't. You got to give me a lot of first round picks for that. I'm scared of a team like the Pelicans doing something, getting like a Siakam, or like they'd have to shake up their front court what they do there. But like them getting a Siakam or an Anunoby, kind of terrifying. I want to shift a little bit. Think about this. Another team that apparently has made some guys available for trade. Let's talk about 2 guys who are apparently available for trade that are, I'm going to say, not that in demand. One, Serge Ibaka has been given permission to find a new home. Dave, where should Serge go?
Spain.
Who's going to play? Is it Basket Girona?
He should go to Spain.
He should go play with Marc Gasol again.
Yeah.
What can they send him? Can they send Marc Gasol? Can we have an interleague trade?
I've advocated
Ibaka for Marc Gasol, and all of a sudden
we need loans in basketball. We need them to come up with loans so that NBA players, instead of sending them to the G League, you send them to Real Madrid for 2 weeks.
Send Xavier Tillman to the Lakers for a while. Help him get out of the lottery spot.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Love
yeah.
this.
You know,
Let him get some.
so I think Serge, man, I don't think there's much of a market for Serge. You know, maybe the Clippers. Maybe he comes back to the
Come back to the
Clippers.
Clippers.
They could use a backup big.
And you know the
But
Lakers are going to kick the tire on anybody who
they
has any name recognition.
I know, man. It's he and Myers Leonard are going to go one-on-one.
Yeah,
for,
it's like,
for the last roster spot.
sorry, Boogie Cousins. I got Serge Ibaka's phone number now.
Yeah, well, Hakeem
call him up.
Olajuwon won't answer the phone, so you know they can't get him out there. I don't know, man. I think it's yeah. If Ibaka was done here, I wouldn't surprise me. It's been a couple years, you know.
Right.
Who's the other guy that doesn't have a market?
The other guy is apparently, according to the Athletic, the Wizards are shopping Rui Hachimura. The Wizards,
that definitely doesn't surprise me.
The Wizards, who do not have playing time available for their recent first round picks, Rui Hachimura or Johnny Davis, because it takes a lot of effort to be 20 and 26. It takes a very tight rotation. You got to really, not.
Well, they're both not very good. That's the biggest problem, right? Like, there's no minutes because they suck at basketball.
I don't think Hachimura has a skill. I think putting the ball in the bucket. Like he can put the ball in the bucket.
He's got a big body.
Yeah.
He's not in the right place to explore. Let's just say explore the limits of his game. He doesn't really have like the space to create in the mid range like he wants to do. There was this idea that he was like a smaller Giannis, or that he could be some kind of a smaller Giannis, where you give him the ball, you kind of spread out. I don't see that.
He's an
energy guy off the bench, man.
He's a loose approximation in my mind, he's a loose approximation of Glenn Robinson. Like he's an just offense, but not good enough to be just offense. Like he's a bench. Give me 12 minutes. Give me 10 points.
8 points. Yeah.
So I don't know what the poor Wizards are. I mean, the Wizards have decisions because Kuzma's moving on. I mean, Kuzma's going to sign somewhere else.
They have to trade Kuzma. Like Kuzma is the one guy who's on the block that I know has to get traded because he's straight up leaving. Keith, look, I talked about this on Nerder this week. He went on a tour, a please trade me tour. He donated $1 million to a YMCA. He's on Good Morning America. He's on the Woj pod. The guy went on a tour 3 weeks out from 3 weeks to the day out from the trade deadline. Please trade me. I've never seen that before, Keith. It's a little bit weird.
They just gave him his bobblehead too. They just released the pink sweater bobblehead. He's got to be one of the more popular players. I mean,
cold world, Keith.
It is cold.
Cold world. It'd be like if I was on Fast Break Breakfast.
Yeah, which you are.
Right. And then I went on, I don't know, Round Ball Rock.
Yeah.
But I was trying to get something. I was trying to get something accomplished.
Yeah.
Those are probably not. Yeah. Might not be the best. It's Good Morning America.
Well, aren't the Pacers in the similar position where they have to trade Miles Turner? I know Rick Carlisle is saying he doesn't want to trade Miles Turner, and the Pacers are now losing because Tyrese Halliburton's not playing, and also Miles Turner's not playing. But like, he's so good, and I don't know what you're going to get for him. And it seems likely, since he's turned down some extensions, that he will sign maybe somewhere else in the offseason. But I don't know what's the percent chance that he stays that makes it worth it not to trade him.
All right, with Miles Turner, this is an abusive relationship.
Oh, yes, 100%.
He was on the trade block before he signed his big extension.
Yeah.
And then he signs the extension. And then he's on the trade block immediately after signing the extension. The whole Sabonis or Miles Turner, it seemed like that they had decided on Sabonis, and then they trade Sabonis, which is the ultimate, like, kind of messing with your mind.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking, whoa, okay, well, am I the guy? Then you're on the block still, trying to get these Lakers picks very, out in the open. Yeah, I don't blame him for not wanting to re-sign there. I mean, beyond the fact that it's Indiana, which, I don't know that NBA players love living in Indiana. So
Miles Turner just wants to build Legos, so he's fine, I think. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe the Legos are how he deals with trauma. It's just it's his therapy of trying to. Look,
man, Miles Turner's really good.
Yeah.
And it stinks to see
He's
a
having a
young
career
team.
year.
And he's perfectly in line with the rest of that team. When you look at when the contracts all fall in line, it's actually pretty good timing for them if they could keep it together. This is a team that could maybe be a top 4 team in the East in a year or two.
Yeah.
They've got real talent. Buddy Hield is good. You know, you've got Tyrese Halliburton. You know, Nembhard has come around. You've got all this guard depth. Now you can build in the front court around Miles Turner, knowing that you've got a guy who can space the floor, who's really good as a rim runner and is a hell of a defender on the back line. That's a good start for your rebuild. But you've messed it up because it's a relationship business and you've just been, you know, putting it out there through various entities that you want to shop him. You want to move him for something. I mean, what is he supposed to do? Kuzma is a different thing. I don't know that, like, Kuzma hasn't been shopped. I think they like Kuzma. They would want to re-sign Kuzma. Kuzma wants to leave, and that's his right. That's great. Miles Turner should want to leave.
Yeah,
he should. And that's going to be a good team, and it would be better if they kept Miles Turner. But if I was Miles Turner, I'd be taking it personally.
Yeah. So you laid it out well, the relationship part of it. Like, if you put me on the trade block this many times, if you already didn't pick me once, and now you're trying to pick me, as you know, I'm gonna take some meetings. I'm taking meetings, you know, and I'm gonna see what's out there. So yeah, it seems like they definitely, unfortunately, need to find probably him a new home. Let's wrap up with a team that's playing pretty well right now. They are on a 4-game win streak, all on the road. It's the Philadelphia 76ers, a team I've paid a lot of attention to this season because of my boy Melton, my guy Melton, doing some stuff, being inserted into the starting lineup over Tyrese Maxey.
And it should not have been over Tyrese Maxey.
I think we're ready to, you're saying PJ Tucker is the guy.
PJ Tucker is not good.
The thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He does nothing for them. Nothing. They should just be playing their 5 best players to start the game, the majority of the game. And Melton is one of those. PJ Tucker is not. James Harden can totally guard force. He can definitely do what PJ Tucker's out there doing. And then on the offensive end, PJ Tucker is a non-entity, which makes what Harden and Embiid have been doing even more impressive to me. Some of these pocket passes that Harden's getting off with 4 defenders just basically just around him and Embiid in the pick and roll. I mean, in the game last night, he hits it's a little behind the back flip. And Embiid travels once he catches it because Embiid didn't know it was really coming.
Surprised.
And I sounded like Ed McMahon when I was laughing at it because Harden is on a different level right now, man. This is the best ball he's played in a few years to me. Letting the game come to him, but he's super under control and he's got this burst at the end of games. And I don't know how close you've been watching Harden, but he's coasting for 3 quarters and then he's closing.
Well, so I've been making these Harden jokes that, you know, he walks everywhere and he's just, he's so under control to a point that I feel like he's maybe a little lethargic or a little bit.
He's a Great Pyrenees,
but
Great Pyrenees
he is in control and he is turning it on, and the passes he's making, it's like Andre Miller old man game. It was like, I can play till I'm 40 because now I've learned this new thing, but like he's doing it. He's still posting 20 points most nights, and he's still now like 12 assists a game that he's putting up. And the Sixers team is they're getting there. Like feels like they're really getting that identity. What they need to do is replace, like you said, the PJ Tucker non-offense, just transfer that to Melton non-offense. Let Melton be a non-offense guy. Like he's had great offensive stretches for this season, but now that he's in the starting lineup with these other guys who like Tobias is a better option to shoot usually. And, you know, Harden and Embiid, clearly they're going to score theirs. So Melton's the glue guy. Then you got Maxey coming off the bench, which is like, he's still playing 30 something minutes. Like he's still playing heavy minutes, but they still are losing the non-Embiid minutes. I would like to see him actually kind of package. I know this is rough. Like Shake Milton's been so good this year for them when called upon, but I would like to see them package more of these like overlap, also Melton and Maxey minutes. Let Maxey cook, and then Melton just be there for the defense, the rebounding, the glue connection. And I'm starting to get enamored with what the Sixers may be figuring out how good they can be.
If Melton is your fifth starter, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good floor for your defense, right? And then on offense, okay, man, he can't fill it up every night. He can't shoot it every night, but he can put the ball on the floor. And having more guys, you go from having, 3 guys who can dribble or 4 guys who can dribble to 5 guys who can dribble because, you got Tobias out there who can run a pick and roll. You now have an offense that can attack you from every angle.
Well,
every angle.
Just the fact that PJ Tucker doesn't shoot.
He does not shoot.
Just
he
literally
cannot dribble.
does not shoot. Like
Stands in the way.
Like I let people know that you're going to get in trouble with Melton if you're asking him to dribble too much. But just being a threat,
straight line dribble, attacking a closeout.
Like, he can do that stuff. He can be a secondary playmaker. And it does feel like the Sixers are they're just getting our hopes up again, right? You're just getting once again. It's the cycle. It's a cycle of like, oh, Doc Rivers doing a good job, doing some stuff, and then
but their bench, man, they just don't have any bench. I mean, this is a team that really. I mean, Serge Ibaka doesn't help them, but they could use a rim protecting big. Trez Harrell gives them a lot of energy, but man, they need the defense.
Here's a slanted stat. Do you know who averages more rebounds per 100 possessions than Montrezl Harrell? Jaren Jackson Jr. That's both a pro Jaren Jackson Jr. stat and an anti Montrezl Harrell stat. That's all. I was letting my quiver of arrows to support. Like Jaren's a fine rebounder now, but everyone still parrots the same thing that happened his rookies, his first 2 years. Like Jaren's a fine rebounder now. He's neither good nor bad. He's just he's good. He's good enough. He's 7 feet tall. He grabs rebounds. Like he's not bad at it or anything. But anyways, I was surprised to see some of the guys lower than him, like Karl Anthony Towns or Montrezl Harrell. And I'm like, yeah, those guys, they have reps and they're not always accurate. Sometimes they are. Anyways, Dave, thanks for coming on, man. Always a pleasure talking ball with you. We should do this like weekly or something.
I know. We update people.
Yeah.
Monday
you can hear
mornings.
us over on the Athletic NBA show feed. Anyways, Dave, look forward to the next time and talk to you soon.